Hi, I'm Ronice Weaver. I'm a registered dietitian with Ebony Nutrition Consultants. Today we're going to prepare one of our favorite dishes. It's broccoli salad. We're so happy to have you with us, so we want to get started. Broccoli salad is a wonderful dish to add to any of your dishes that you may have for lunch or for dinner. The one reason why I like it, because dark green vegetables are my BFF. They are low in calories and low in carbohydrates, high in vitamin A and vitamin C, and also high in fiber. But we got to do a couple things to get this dish ready. The first thing we got to do is make sure we have a good head of broccoli. Now we could do this dish as a raw dish or a semi-cooked broccoli. And what I have here is some hot water boiling, but sometimes, I sometimes skip it because I like to eat raw vegetables all the time. So it's not necessary for us to cook our broccoli, but if you want your broccoli to really pop, let's drop it in hot water for a hot second and watch the color change. Right here, as you can see, the color has changed. I'll do another one for you. You want to drain it. We kind of got a bright green, but if you want a brighter green, just drop it in hot water for about 15 seconds. We don't want to overcook the broccoli. The only thing we're trying to do is get the color to pop and be as vibrant as possible. So we're going to drop a few of those pieces in and just drop it in our hot water. And we just drain it out. And then we got to chop it because we don't want the big crowns to be so chunky because we got to make enough for 4 or 5 in our family. So let's get that done. So let's pretend that we've already done that. So I'm going to take all the hardy stems out and we're going to break this up a little bit. And we'll do this in our bigger bowl here. So it's nothing wrong with dropping it in hot water, but if you want to go raw, that's just as fine. But I also like to add the hardier stems in it. It just really stretches my salad out a little bit further because usually when people come and eat, they say, oh, I don't know if I like broccoli salad. Before you know it, they want the whole dish and the recipe to go. So we're gonna just chop these crowns down a little bit more to make them smaller. And it's a great thing to do to get your kids involved into the kitchen and get them some child-proof knives and have them break up your broccoli for you. It's always important to get your kids in the kitchen and get them involved with cooking because once they own it, they eat it. And that's what you want to do to get your kids to be interested in eating more fruits and vegetables in the kitchen. Get them to own it and get them to eat it. All right, so it looks like we got a good bit of them all chopped up. And these have cooled off that fast and they still have that raw texture, but they're just a little bit brighter in color. All right, that looks real good. So now, our next step, we have to dice our onions. Now, I'm a little on the lazy side. I don't have the best knife skills in the world. So what I'll do is take my chopper that I got from Bed Bath & Beyond and I'll put it right here in this device and pop it down like that. And I got a onion that looks like a professional chef had just cut it. And the beauty behind this, I don't get the tears with it as well. Now, if you don't have this in your house during the holiday season, it's going to save you a ton of work and a ton of time. So now we got our purple onions, which is really, I think, one of the biggest highlights of this salad. Onions are a great add-on to this salad. So we're just going to take our one onion and drop it into our bowl for the broccoli. Now we got to make our dressing. Now, I always tell people, it is not the salad that's making you gain weight, it's what you drown it with. And if you're drowning it in dressing, that's where we have a problem. So how can we make a skinny dressing and it still tastes good? First thing we got to do, in most salad dressings, you find that the majority of the ingredients have a lot of fat in it. So we got to go with a low-fat mayonnaise or a fat-free mayonnaise. And you got to add some ingredients to get it to taste right. So we're going to add a white vinegar to our mix. and our low-fat mayonnaise. So we're gonna drop that in this bowl right here. We got low-fat mayonnaise, and that's about a cup and a half. I don't necessarily wanna use all of it, but I just wanna make enough to coat it. So we're gonna add some vinegar to it. That's gonna loosen it up. And instead of adding sugar, we're using Splenda Blend. Now you ask, well, what is Splenda Blend? Splenda Blend is a sugar substitute, but it's half sugar, half Splenda. So instead of using a cup on many of your recipes or a cup and a half, you only really need to use 50% less because it sweetens it up a great deal. So we're gonna add maybe about 2 tablespoons of sugar to just get that sweetness in. Normally you would have added 4, but now I've saved you 32 calories on those 2 tablespoons of sugar. So we're just gonna loosen it up with that vinegar and sweeten it up because the vinegar made it tart, but the Splenda made it sweeter. And I gotta get a little bit looser, so I'm gonna add a little bit more vinegar. Some people add milk to this to loosen it up some more. You don't necessarily have to, it's your preference, but if you do, you could use a low-fat milk. I just want it to drizzle and become a light drizzle on my salad. So we're gonna add a little bit more vinegar. And I might need to sweeten it up just a little bit more, maybe another tablespoon. Just keep in mind, Splenda Blend is super sweet. You don't want to go overboard on that because there's another added ingredient that we're going to use with this recipe to help sweeten it up, and that's our dried craisins. And craisins are naturally sweet. They're the dried cranberries, and once you bite into that, it makes it taste wonderful. So now let's move this out of the way and bring this a little bit closer. We're going to drizzle our dressing. And I say drizzle, not drown. And all we gotta do is stir this in. We just wanna coat it. Now, in order for your salad to loosen up and get the dressing coated on it, a light coating, not a heavy coating, you do wanna refrigerate it because that will help make the dressing spread all over the broccoli. And I'll save some of the onions for last to garnish on top. So now we got our broccoli, we got our onions, we have our dressing, and now we top it off and get some of the craisins on the inside of it. And we stir that up a little bit more. And then we're gonna finish it off with our nuts. Now nuts also are a great add-on for this dish. I particularly love adding walnuts to it. Nothing that's sugar-coated, just some natural nuts in it because they help with satiety. And satiety means it's going to help you get full faster and your food stays in your gut a little bit longer, and it's got that nice little added crunch to it. If you have a nut allergy, you got to skip the nuts, but I love to add nuts, and you can also add some protein to it and add diced chicken if you like to just stretch that meal out a little bit further. And once you do that, you got a complete one-dish meal that tastes great. So now let's dish this up. I never thought that I would love broccoli salad until I started making it this way. And it is a huge request at home, and it's a bigger request when I make it at church. I finish it off with some more onions on the top to make it look real pretty. And then I top it off with a little bit of craisins and some nuts. We just crush our nuts and put it right on the top. For more recipes, join us at ebonynutrition.org. You can shoot me an email or look for us on Facebook. Enjoy. Thank you.